Japanese ones, boy racers, not my cup of tea. Not built like a jockey.
It's just the thrill of it all. I mean, it's just different from all the other bikes. I mean, you never see two Harleys that are the same, you know. It's just the camaraderie of it. You don't get that with other makes of bikes.
The way he mounted that bull didn't fill me with confidence. Even the Dynaglides started to sweat the thought of him getting on it. But Harleys are built for big boys, so I thought he would come. It's the 100th anniversary of Harley Davidson. Silicone, babes, hard bellies. We're going for it, dude. Come on then. Oh, I want a cool no. I want a cool no. I ain't going. I ain't going.
It's only been in the last 10 years that it's been possible to tour the States on a rental bike, and particularly Harleys, obviously. We've been running tours there since 1995, and we're currently the only company in the UK that offers those tours. There's probably more cars for hire in Los Angeles Airport than there are Harleys for hire across the whole of the States. It is a very small specialist area.
As soon as we touched down at Louisiana, it was off to Eagle Rider to pick up the rental bike. If I had bikes in other countries before, there would have been pigs, but this was a pure hog. This is the baby I'm going to be riding, is it?
This is it. It's a brand new Dyna Y Glide Harley Davidson, 100th anniversary.
How big is the engine in this?
It's 88.
Is that 1450cc?
That's correct.
Eagle Rider is the biggest Harley Davidson rental in the world. There are 32 franchises. There's 2 in Spain now, I believe, and 2 in France now. I'd say 90% of our business is tourism business. We do get a lot of Europeans. Harley Davidson is, if you go to bike night on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night and they have 1,000 bikes there, if you're on a Harley Davidson, you're on a motorcycle. If you're on any other type of bike, it's considered a bike, not a motorcycle. If that explains it.
So what's different between this and a normal one?
You can see the colors are different. The silver and black's the anniversary colors. This year is the only color they made it like this.
Is that
So
right?
it's a lot different from the other ones. You can see the pinstripes in it. It says Harley Davidson all the way through.
Wow.
I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't. Anything else you'd know about it?
Just watch out for the alligators.
What's your reality? Where am I likely to see them?
You're gonna see them all along this area where you're going on the swamp. They're gonna be crawling across the road if you.
So I gotta keep my feet up.
Gotta keep your feet up.
You're going to see every type of Harley Davidson and probably even a lot of bikes that aren't Harley Davidson. Everybody wants to join into this party. This is a big celebration.
You're looking the part, mate. Listen to this, baby. Let me just fire this up here. Come on. Let's take you for our first ride in this thing. And just relax and enjoy yourself, all right? The first 10 miles, Evans' arse behaved impeccably. After that, it took on a mind of its own, shifting his considerable bulk at every cat's eye. I've always wanted to build a chopper, so we hunted out a custom builder to ask a few questions and get some ideas. Come on, let's show you some custom bikes that will blow your brains out.
Wherever I get,
A nice one. I didn't expect to find some finished bikes that could win any best of show in Britain.
My biker name is Roadblock because
I
I got
wonder
drunk
why.
and fell down in the road one time and they thought I was a roadblock. The biking industry has changed tremendously in the last 15 years. 20 years ago, you would be hard-pressed to find someone that couldn't work on their own motorcycle. But the industry has changed. In order to compete with the Japanese, motorcycles are now manufactured to a very high standard. And in fit and finish and reliability can compete with the best in the world. So with that changing market and the changing product, our customer base it's a whole another world. Businessmen who want to be bikers, dentists who will go out and buy $3,000 worth of leather clothing and be a biker on a Saturday night. There's a lot of old school, old motorcyclists left in the world that have the hair and the beard and the tattoos. That's not the majority of our business, because that's not the majority of what makes up the biking sport nowadays. But generally, anybody that has $30,000 is welcome to join the club.
Expensive club to join.
Well, that's it depends on the level of sophistication they want, and you know the higher end ones. We'll sit down with the customer and plan out from the lowest detail of the fender curves down to custom exhaust systems that may be $1,000 for just a set of exhaust pipes. So it all depends on the level of sophistication. Chrome. There are a number of variables involved in determining cost and how long it takes to complete. These particular motorcycles are what are called ultra cycles. Just about every appointment known to mankind can be had on one of these motorcycles, from electronic fuel injection to custom pipes to 250 series rear wheel is the widest that's generally available on the market right now. These are 113 cubic inch S&S motors that are aftermarket motors, and they'll put about 105, 110 horsepower to the rear wheel, which means is that big rear wheel will spin until it melts. And this looks real cool going down the road, but it's for a more experienced rider because of the balance problems. You know, when you start going around the corner, Harley, you can turn pretty quick and make a quick U-turn. But if you're going to make a U-turn in this, you better look way ahead and find a place that gives you enough room to turn around. So,
I'm looking at the finished custom bikes you've got here. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. How the hell do they keep the engines that clean and everything's so shiny?
well, one of either two things. Either they spend a hell of a lot of time polishing, or they don't ride their motorcycle very much. Now, a lot of our customers do ride their custom motorcycles great distances, but the ones with the mass amount of polishing, and they don't ride their motorcycles very far. It's not intended to be transportation by any means.
Just down to the bar to pick up a chicken.
Exactly. Exactly. You can generally tell what a guy looks like by what his motorcycle looks like. The more money he's got put in his motorcycle, he probably isn't a very impressive looking individual in person, but he's got the chrome, you know. So.
Can you build me a big chrome bike then?
No, man.
No. Roadblock tipped me off that the party was kicking off in Baton Rouge. So Evan and me fired up the Harley and rode 90 miles that night.
Well, my name is Sam Burke. I drive a 1999 Dyna Y-Glide. Started out as a Dyna Y-Glide. There's a lot of extras on it. 103 cubic inch engine, Mikuni carburetor, ported the heads, custom paint job, custom wheels. Everything on it's been changed except for probably the headlight, the frame, and the rear shocks. I guess everything else has been changed on it.
You can go buy one. You have to have it your way, just like food or women or anything. It has to be yours. And I was in a motorcycle club 30 years ago that the bylaws of the club stated that you had to work on your motorcycle and you had to build what we call a chopper back then. I'm an artist by profession. I'm a sign painter and an artist. I paint one about every 10 years. It's very unique. No other bike like it. That's why I do it. I don't want to go in the parking lot and see a bike that looks just like mine.
What have I spent on it? Man, I really don't know. Since my wife will probably never see this, probably about 31, 32,000, something like that. You know, cost of the bike and everything.
We've ridden Harley Davidsons since the first part of my career. This here is a 2002 Harley Davidson Road King. There's a myth that people believe that the Road Kings that the police ride are different than the bikes that everybody else rides. This is the same factory bike that anybody else can buy, except we have our own paint schemes. Naturally, we add the special equipment that we use for when we're chasing violators, but put the myth to sleep. This is just a factory motor. Where the speed comes in is right here in the old radio. You can't outrun the radio.
We're in Memphis, Tennessee, home with Elvis Presley. Hopefully we should see a load of Harleys here. We're starting to pick up on the old party scene now. And more people are joining the ride-up. It's looking good. There's a pretty one there. At every stop, downtown was turned over to Harleys. Thousands of bikes lined the streets. It seemed America was one big bike show.
A Harley's a bike, well, especially the older ones, that you could tame it to a certain extent, but it is like riding a wild bull or a wild bronco. You know, if you ever let your guard down, it lets you know who was boss. Now, I like that.
We love motorcycles. No other. There's no other. We like the Harley. That's it. Just a Harley.
Right, this is American?
It's the best. That's the only kind of motorcycle there is.
One thing about custom bikes, they don't like the rain. With the hogs gone, Memphis hosted the oven show. Heading out of Memphis, a couple of righteous bros let me ride with them to a dealer party in Jackson. These parties were going on all along the 4 routes of the ride home to Milwaukee. They were perfect opportunities to chill out, admire some chrome, meet up with old friends, and give the dealers a chance to lighten the bikers' wallets. What people don't realise, Evan, is this Harley is a way of life. It's just, they live and breathe it. I mean, look at this. A skull cap for your dog. There's a boot you throw for your dog. It's a squeaky noise.
Throw it to the dog.
Throw it for your dog. Dog's balls. Look, I found something you can eat out of. If I could hang that back up there, I wouldn't look such a on TV, would I?
Today is our celebration of Harley's 100th anniversary. The ride home from Baton Rouge came through here today. It's on its way to Nashville. So we had an open house in here in the store, had live music. We've got Bubba Blackwell doing his stunt show out there. We've had food and beer and just a big party. You know, there's very few companies that have been around for 100 years, much less 100 successful years like Harley has had. The American Harley rider is the guy who works 5 days a week and maybe has to wear a tie during the week, and he becomes an outlaw on the weekend. It's escapism for him.
Back it up, here's a rev limiter as well. No, that's a good trick. That's clever. Yee! Bit of practice, Evan, you can do it.
Hey guys, I'm Bubba Blackwell. I'm the Buell American Factory Stunt Rider. And we're here in Nashville, Tennessee, or Memphis. No, where in the world? Jackson, Tennessee. You know, we're out here doing the best we can. It's so hot. What is it, over 100 degrees today?
Gotta be. It's killing me.
Very humid. I'm soaking wet from my head to my toe. But whenever I heard you guys were passing through, I had to be invited to the program. Where you guys headed?
We're going up to Nashville tonight, and then we're going on to Milwaukee, so we'll catch you again up there, I'm sure. Enjoy the show.
Well, I hope you liked it.
Somebody told me you got some records under your belt with concerning Harleys. What are they?
Well, I'm the only guy in the world that's jumped the Harley Davidson over more cars, trucks, and buses than any man in the world.
You know, my last jump didn't go so well. I got hurt really bad. Got a lot of cards and letters from Europe, thank you God. But I'm about to do my comeback jump. I'm gonna jump August the 30th, which is what, next Saturday? I'm gonna jump over 10 semi-trucks on my brand new Harley Davidson XR 750 in a very small parking lot. I've got to come down a ski ramp, jump over a bunch of bus or trucks. It's not a record, I've jumped more, but to come back from my crash where I was on life support, I think that's the kind of cool thing.
This is Bubba Blackwell's stunt bike, the Buell. A few modifications to it. Motocross handlebars and a bar at the back which you can drag on the ground when he's wheeling it. Bubba rides a Buell for all his stunt work, except his record-breaking jumps when he gets on an XR 750 flat tracker. We were lucky enough to see an absolutely mint one of those at Oxford Harley before we left Britain.
What you got here, mate, is a really rare Harley Davidson XR 750 flat tracker. Awesome bit of kit. Built in 1975, in fact this one is 1975. All the Yank road racers started out riding these things, and that's when they come over here, they were so good. The likes of Kenny Roberts, Randy Mamler, all the Yank racers, top Yank racers. Only used on ovals, part dirt, part tarmac. Capable of well over 130 mile an hour, but they just back them into a turn sideways, well over a ton, drift from the corner, speedway style, power out then down the straights. What they haven't got is a lot of brakes. No front brake, just a back brake. So you've got 130 mile an hour motorcycle, you've got to stop on the engine torque and the brake. This one, especially rare. The owner's never even run it. It's not done a single mile. Apparently it's up for sale for about 15 grand. Don't look at much, does it?
But yeah, it's you know, made for dirt track racing. They didn't make them for jumping. But what could be cooler? Yeah. What could be cooler than listening to the roar of a V-twin American-made thumper, raising cane going towards a ramp and flying through the air?
Yeah, nice.
Most of the stunt riders use other models of motorcycles that are made to go 180 miles an hour. Well, how can you do a show where you have to go 100, 150 miles an hour to do your stunt? You gotta have a condensed audience and entertain them and work right where they are, or you're gonna lose the whole momentum of the program. Buells make amazing low end power. They pop right up, you can have fun. Given that you're always in limited space, you can't ask for a better motorcycle.
Woo! Just grenade to tell you, man.
Plus, hey, I'm a red, white, and blue Bubba from Alabama. What's more American than me on a Harley and a Buell?
That's true. By now, Evan's ass resembled a blood orange. He begged for a day off, so we used the Nashville stop for a bit of sightseeing. Nice flame paint job and nice seats, special forces. That's saying don't mess with my bike, innit? Or I'll blow your arm off. Being a gullible tourist, Evan headed straight for the shops. And I thought he only had a hat fetish. I gotta stop you. Why is he trying on all the girl stuff? I bring him to a cowboy shop to try and make him look a man. He wears the cowgirl clothes. Yeah. Only Evan can do that. Make him look good. He needs all the help he can. Incredible. The hat is shaped to reflect his personality. I thought it should resemble a bell end, but Evan didn't want to hold it. You reckon? It's coming together, man. Good for me. Look at that building up there. It's a beautiful one. Unbelievable, you know, the old Nashville, and then right behind you, you've got that such a modern building as the Bell South building. Absolutely incredible contrast. Mind-blowing. There's puppies over there. Up on the attic? She looks like she could do some. It was time for the long ride to Springfield. By now we started to catch up with many foreigners who'd been on the road for weeks. We've seen number plates, license plates from all over the world. How many nations do you think have been through this shop today?
I have no idea. You know, it's been interesting the last 2 weeks actually seeing the people that have come through here have been from Australia, Japan, Italy, everywhere. Canada, a lot of people have been here from Canada, and it's interesting to see how many people have taken so much time off to participate in this event.
What do you see for the future of Harley?
Oh, I think this is just a great starting point for the next 100 years. I think Harley still has a lot of things up their sleeves that they're going to surprise us all with. And I think the momentum is only going to continue. And, you know, I've kidded around with a lot of people around here that when it comes time for the 200th anniversary, I'll be 90 years old. And I said, and I'm going to sit down in a chair, and I'm not going to do anything that day, and I'm just going to watch, and I'm going to enjoy it.
If her maths is that good that she thinks she'll be 90 in 100 years' time, I think I'll try and buy a bike off her.
We're from Montreal, and we started that trip about a month ago. For me, it's a way of living. This is a live horse. You take care of it, it takes care of you. Even when you start this engine, there's something magic about it.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's the way. Harley is all that for me, you know?
Have you ridden anything else other than Harleys?
Yeah, I've been with Harley 11 years now. I've been riding 31 years, so I went on Yamahas, Hondas. Not to say that they're not good bikes, but the day I bought a Harley, it changed my life. I'm sure everybody's proud of their horse, you know?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Well, this guy has been carrying us for the last 9,000 miles, so. And it really heat, 110, 115.
Yeah, mine started to rattle a bit yesterday.
Did it start?
It was,
yeah, maybe it sleeps too much, bro.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Believe me. I haven't slept, believe me.
Willie G invited us to come and party. We couldn't say no. So for 1 month, the whole month of August, we shipped our bikes out to Chicago on the way to Milwaukee for the party. What are you doing here?
Same thing.
You came a different way, though.
Yeah, I cheated.
You sneaked in the Boondocks way.
Yeah,
Cajun country man.
I came into Cajun and traveled on.
Oh, well, I got a bit of South for you here.
Play
Alabama. The road from Springfield to Milwaukee allowed me to fulfill a lifelong ambition of riding on Route 66. I've done the research for this part of the trip, so we ended up in a world-famous cozy dog, where some genius thought of cooking a battered hot dog on a stick.
Route 66 was really designed as to connect Chicago with the West Coast, and particularly in the 1930s, in the Depression era, a lot of people moved from Chicago and the Midwest, got in their cars and tried to find their California dreams. And then in the 50s, some bright guy decided to write a song, and that, I think, really cemented its reputation as this iconic road.
The final stretch of 280 miles would see us home to Milwaukee. Bridges overhead were crowded with people and banners welcoming riders from around the globe. The flag waving and the cheers they gave us made me feel proud to be riding an American legend. Oven had a tear in his eye, but that was from a pain in his arse. At Milwaukee, the final countdown has started. Over 200 members of the two families were present, including Willie G.
Been on that bike, came in from Portland, Oregon. It was a great ride.
Many had ridden to the factory on their own Harleys for the celebrations.
We got the whole family here. Where we at? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When you buy a Harley, you're not just buying a motorcycle. You buy into a worldwide family.
I'm from New Jersey. Yeah, and you know, when you hear about the 100th anniversary of Harley Davidson, I mean, it's just something that, you know, you want to experience. I mean, how many times you get to go to a 100th anniversary, and especially when you hear about the history of the companies in New Jersey, and here's a company that's 100 years old. I mean, it's quite impressive.
Well, I think it's nice. I'm a member of HOG, Harley Owners Group, and we get to ride with people, and it's more than just riding on your bike by yourself. We have events that we share things together, do a lot of charity events, and I think that's what is important.
You know, you start with one experience, and each one surpasses the next one. It just falls into place. We had no agenda. We came up through Niagara Falls and crossed into Canada, dropped down into Michigan, ran into some riders from Finland and Australia, and we just kind of wandered around, and it was just fantastic. The roads and the weather's been beautiful so far. It's just a great experience.
It's a landmark, but it's also the character of the people here in the United States is that, you know, they stand behind, you know, those who have done well and appreciate what they've done and try to support that. So, and then when you become a member of the Harley Davidson family by owning a Harley Davidson, it makes it that much more important. Especially when you come to an event like this and you see all the people from not only within the United States, but within around the world. That becomes very impressive that, you know, there is that unity within the country and within the world.
But you know what? This great company began about a block from here. You just follow my hand up there, one block. On that corner is where the first shack was put up by my great-grandfather. And so this celebration is really a moving, emotional time for the entire family. And when I use that word family, it really resonates with me because we're a family of customers, riders, enthusiasts, employees, dealers.
Now, one thing I know, no matter where I travel within the United States, and as you can see, it's Iron Butt Association, which means you do long rides. You could ride along the road and stop within 5 minutes. The first bike that comes by is going to stop to find out if you have any problems or whatever. Especially if you have a Harley, every bike will come by to make sure that you're doing well.
A group of people get together that has one thing in common, the Harley Davidson motorcycles, and they'll wind up staying in each other's homes. Total strangers will become friends instantly. And it's unique in my experience. Nothing else is like it.
And the proof of it is, I don't know what's expected here. We've heard from 1 million to 3 million people. So I guess we all feel pretty much the same way. You're part of it, and we've had some of the guys step out and get other machines, and they miss it, and they come back, you know, and they come back, and it is a big sell, and Harley Davidson does a great job in keeping the family together with the promotions and the different rides that they promote and that we participate in. It's really good.
Whilst we were in Milwaukee, we caught up with Harley Experience, a massive roadshow that travelled all over the world, showing the past and future of Harley Davidson. We missed this in Britain because Hamburg sells more bikes and it's sunnier in Barcelona.
You're probably wondering what that bike's got to do with Harley Davidson and the custom scene that you see today. Well, basically, the original chopper, or bobber as they were called then, started from these bikes. Basically, when the guys come back from the war, there was hundreds of these what they call WL Harley Davidsons going for sale very cheap. They had all this crap on them. So basically what the guys did, was chop the bits off, redesign what they did want, hence the term the chopper. And that's where it started from. They also started to ride together in gangs, in clubs. Basically, the army guys would come back, they were friends, they'd meet back up, they couldn't settle in places just to ride together. They then built up the clubs, and that's how the whole culture of the Harley Club generated from.
I was going to tell you a bit about Harley's history, their triumphs over adversity, but I've bumped into Jim McCaslin, president of HD. So let him earn his bucks.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Harley, Jim, and where it's come from.
Harley started in 1903, and they were probably one of about 200 other American motorcycle companies in the early years of the 1900s. And then, Henry Ford with the Model A came in, and slowly but surely, every one of these others fell away. By 1931, there was only two Harley and Indian left. By 1953, Indian went away, and then it was only Harley.
Yeah, hi, my name's Bruce Linsday. Rode this 1905 Harley from Cleveland, Ohio to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 480 miles. This is the oldest running Harley in the world. First production year, 1 of 8. There's one over there in the lobby in a glass case. They say it's too valuable to ever start. I'm running mine.
So you actually rode this 480 miles?
480 miles.
What's the top speed would it reach?
About 29.
Or 29.
It was a long 480 miles.
So is this in totally original condition? Or?
I remade the handlebars and the gas tank, but the basic bike is totally original. Unrestored, the real deal, yeah.
Is the engine original or have you
Absolutely original. It's got a bronze connecting rod, a cast iron piston.
What's it like to ride?
Very rough, no suspension whatsoever. Rigid front, rigid rear, about 3/4 of an inch travel in the seat. That's it.
You feel every mile?
I feel like some big guy beat the crap out of me.
How long did the ride take you?
5 days.
5 days a day.
Yeah, about 11 hours a day.
Well, hope you keep it ready for another 100 years.
I won't be here, but it probably will be.
Harley struggled because for a while it was the British. The British invasion just about killed Harley. In fact, the British invasion is what did Indian in. They tried to copy the Brits. Americans didn't accept it, and they went bust.
Don't worry, we killed our own industry as well.
Yeah. And then we survived you guys, and then all of a sudden the Japanese came, in the 60s. You meet the nicest people on a Honda, and then the 60s started to do a sin.
About 1969, Harley amalgamated with the American Machine and Foundry Company to produce the AMF Harleys. But they got it all wrong.
Small two-stroke engines. They thought they knew what the American people wanted. Gas prices has gone up, probably 25 cents a gallon. Whoopee. They started knocking these things. They weren't reliable, they weren't even pretty to look at, and they totally lost the feeling of America. What the Americans really wanted was the Wurlitzer back. And once Harley Davidson brought them back, that's what they gave them back, and that's why they're so proud of them. This was the last of the what they call the iron-headed engine. Right? This is the ones that used to leak oil and give Harley quite a bad reputation. They were a good motor, but they were pretty unreliable. This was a time when their factories weren't up to speed. If we move along to this engine, this is the first of the Evolution engines. This is the aluminium-headed, pretty oil-tight, a lot more reliable, more powerful. Basically, this is the first of the engines like that we're riding. This is an 80 cubic inch one. We're riding the 88 cubic inch, but I'll show you that one now.
We were getting our butts kicked by the Japanese. They went and visited the Honda plant in Marysville, Ohio, and it hit them like a ton of bricks. Wait a minute, this is in the U.S., it's not Japan. The only thing different, because now you got American workers, many American suppliers, American plants, American culture. The only thing different is management. And bingo.
This is the engine that's powered our White Glide all the way up from New Orleans. This is the latest twin cam, 88 cubic inch, 1450cc Harley Davidson engine. Oil tight, reliable, smooth compared to some of the early engines. The beauty of this thing is also got what we call balancer shafts in it, which has taken out all the vibration from the early engines. Hence the ride up here has been pretty smooth.
Evo started in 1983. Hog started, Harley Owners Group started in 1983. First year, 33,000 members. Now we're 750,000 members.
This is a good example of what Jim was talking about as far as beating the Japanese go. This bike's a cult in its own right. Evolution engine, oil tight, strong motor, big fat bike. bike for you. It's actually called the Fat Boy. You know, when they brought this thing out, they sold them by the bucket load, real popular in Europe. It helped to put Harley back on their feet.
We became like, I don't know, like the symbol of success, that we took on the Japanese and won, all right? I think over time, there's more to it even than that, and it's what keeps, I think, Europeans interested in Japanese. You know, we're #1 market share in Japan, have been for 3 years, you know, in big bikes. There's more to it than the Americana. And so that if you're riding in Sweden, I don't think they think of the Harley as an American bike. They think of Harley as their bike.
I was going to say, it's their own personal...
It's their own bike, and it's the ride, and it's the camaraderie. All that's the same between, I don't care what country you're from.
I mean, I got the feeling it's almost like the old cowboy's horse. They just love it. They use it to travel, see the country on. When they're on it, they ride as a family. It really is a family experience, isn't it, for a lot of people?
It's exactly what it is. And then people talking, well, which way did you go, and how do bike work, and let me look at your bike, and it's just a camaraderie that goes on there. And you don't know anybody, you know, you don't know if they're a factory worker, you don't know if they're a dentist, you don't know if they're a corporate CEO. They all look alike, you know, just like you. If you haven't shaved 3 or 4 days, you don't put a little bit of leather on, you know, blue jeans, you look like a bad dude.
I haven't had a chance to shave in 3 or 4 days. I've been riding one of your bikes for 5 days. I feel good, I just look bad.
Well, but you look good. You look good for a Harley guy, right? Because that's what a Harley guy is.
Fit in, no?
Yeah.
These are the 2004 bikes. These look customised, but are actually factory-produced motorcycles. Harley are producing their own range of custom paintwork, billet aluminium parts and chrome. You can now personally select your custom bikes straight from the factory, and Harley get a big slice of the multi-billion-dollar custom accessory cake.
Right, mate, this is a bike we rode up on, 1,500 miles together. Brought us from New Orleans to Milwaukee, the Dyna Wide Glide. This is a new 2004 model, available with carburetor or fuel injection. We got the carb version. I didn't realise Willie G. Davidson was a big custom fan. He's had a look at all the shows that are about the stuff we've seen on the streets. Custom paintwork's absolutely gorgeous on this bike. They're also doing a whole range of other paintworks. You know, any colour you like of them. What do you want, baby? Blue. Blue. He's going for a blue one. We'll have this bike in blue. Tell us a little bit about where you're going with the modern bikes. When I've had a look at the new bikes, very huge custom flavour to them now with the Screaming Eagle designs you've got in the thing. Where's that coming from?
Well, we go where our customer wants us to go, and so if you look at our stylists are Willie G. Davidson and Louis Netz, and those are our 2 lead styling guys, and they spend a lot of time at Daytona and Sturgis, and they'll go over to, they'll spend time at Fackersee or, the European rallies. In fact, they were just at the Open Road Tour in Hamburg, and they were blown away by the custom bikes that the Germans were riding in Hamburg. And so we are always watching, and so the market tells us where to go. So fatter tires, if we see them, well, we know we got to go there. More power in the engines, well, we know we got to go there. A little bit more cutting-edge custom styling, well, we got to go there. Now, we don't go there as fast as everybody else because we got to figure out how to do it. So #1 is high quality, reliability, and we can do it in high production.
Do it in the volume.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's take a leaf from Willie G's book and check out the bikes down at Water Street, where the bikes lined up all night and the party really rocked.
This is a bit awesome. Harley Davidson's V-Rod, the quickest bike they produce. Real rocket ship, this one. Guys put nitrous oxide on it, 50% more horsepower with a touch of a button. Rip the clocks off, shift light, as soon as he's drag racing it, bang, 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 light will flash, shift gear. What we got here is 2 gorgeous custom bikes, but at different ends of the spectrum. We've got one nitrous oxide, dual throat carburetor, breathing big time, massive tube frame, gorgeous, work of art, probably goes like of a shovel. The other one is just perfectly detailed, fantastic finish, beautiful paint, chrome, dripping in niceness. How long did this take you to build?
Actually, I actually built it in a flat in Singapore, and the paint work I was waiting on about 6 months because the guy's more of an artist than he is a painter.
Who's that?
Yeah, it's Butch Brinza. He's very famous in Milwaukee, but he's based out of California now, but he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 painters in the country.
What is the bike actually based on? What Harley was it based on?
Okay, it's a 92 Springer. It was originally blue. I bought some extra tin.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Buzz built his bike on the 20th floor of an apartment block.
I mean, I built it there, and then I said, okay, I fit everything, and then I took it all apart again, brought down the lift, and then I reassembled it, fired it up.
In the lobby of the flats, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And then there's guards in these things, you know, and they say, hey, Buzz. I say, yeah. I says, your wife's here. I was divorced for 2 years. So I said, I hope not. She said, the way you treat it must be your wife. And I said, well, let me put it this way. If my wife responded as well as that bike does when I treat her this way, everything's cool.
Yeah, you would have been divorced.
Oh, that's it. I mean, she's been with me now since 1992.
Is it longer than the wife?
Oh, yeah, 5 years for the wife.
That's the way to travel. Full dresser, stereo, lovely. Hello.
Even in a meeting like this, you can still stand out from the crowd.
What are you trying to prove?
Not trying to prove anything. I have plenty of friends that have Harley Davidson and stuff, you know, love motorcycles, and just, you know, I don't think it's too hard to fit in with all these guys in similar interests, you know.
But why does a Ducati rather than a Harley?
I've always loved Ducatis. My dad rides a Harley. I like Ducatis, so, you know, I like the sound of them, I like the performance, I like the weight, the handling and everything, so.
How do the Harley boys treat you?
Good. Yeah, in fact, I get a lot of thumbs up and stuff riding around here and stuff. I haven't had any negative vibes, you know, since I've been riding, so.
This is not Japanese, eh?
Right, exactly.
Even amongst the stars and stripes, there were signs of a new invasion.
As usual, the Yanks love us. Nice to see a nice Triumph out here from Illinois. They're quite popular in America now, the Triumphs. It's good to see them about. Pity we didn't have the same patriotism that they had for the Harley. Otherwise, you see tons of them back home. They'll catch on. See, the other is just not about owning a Harley, it's the whole thing. It's getting on a bike, riding it, partying like this, boy. Everybody's got to get involved. Even the cars around, the custom cars are cruising the street. As the night goes on, it'll just develop into a big cruise, showing what you've got. If you've got a Harley in Britain, really, you should come and see an event like this. All right, perhaps you couldn't make the 100th anniversary, but there's other events, Daytona, Sturgis, Laughlin River. They're all out there to do. Everybody should come and experience something this big.
Be back next time!
So, how do you fancy all the latest motoring news at the click of a mouse? Keep on top of what's hot from the world of motoring by signing up to the Men & Motors newsletter service. Well, more motors next tonight, or the bit attached to your bumper at least. It's number plate heaven in just a sec.